Okay, assignment 52. It has multiple parts to it, and you do need to do all of the parts to get full credit for this assignment. The first part of this assignment requires that you choose, and this is going to be a designer name, so you may choose your name or the name of a close friend or family member. It doesn't have to be a super long name, so I know we have at least a couple of class members who have really long names. It can be a nickname, that's fine. You need to have, I don't know, let's say at least 3 to 4 characters is the minimum length. So it could be even your initials if you're so inclined. But anyway, so you're going to pick a name, be it friend or family member, at least 3 characters, and you're going to choose adjectives that describe the person whose name we're talking about. So if I were doing my own name, I would have to pick 2 terms that describe me, and at the moment, grumpy would fit in having to do the videos and so forth. But so I'm going to go with grumpy and creative as 2 descriptors of myself. Having picked those 2 terms, I now need to find typefaces that I feel fit each of them. So I need to find some sort of grumpy looking typefaces, and I need to find some creative looking typefaces. Our suggestion is that you go to dafont.com. We've used it for other things, and then we're going to use that screen capture approach on the Windows machines. That's going to be the snipping tool. On Macs, it's going to be Command-Shift-4. I think I've got my hand knows more than my head does. Let's see. Is that it? Yep, it's Command-Shift-4. We'll let you do a quick screen capture of whatever you need to. And having then screen captured the 5 fonts per adjective, you're going to put them in a document and either print them out and mail them, which makes no logical sense, or do a screen capture of the screen with all of them put together in a document, or save it as a PDF. Either of those approach works. So a screen capture of all 10 of your fonts describing your 2 adjectives, or a PDF of all 10 of your fonts describing your 2 adjectives. Either one of those is good. And I'm going to do hopefully that right now, a fast version, and then you're going to work on the next step. But let's do stage 1 first. So I've got dafont.com open somewhere. Let me go to that. Okay, I've got it here. And the terms that I was suggesting, I think were grumpy and creative. There is a search field. So I could type in grumpy. Helps, again, not gummy, but grumpy. And I did get a few. I got grumpy cat, which is not what I had in mind. This one's got some sort of graininess to it, which is kind of okay. If I thought this one worked well, then again, I could do that screen capture approach, which on the Mac is Command-Shift-4, and I get the crosshairs, and I would do a picture. And then, I don't know, when I think grumpy, I'm thinking angular and rough. And so those actually may be the terms I go for, since I didn't get that many good options by searching otherwise. And again, I can't seem to type. So when I type in rough, I get, yeah, some other ones. The roughage looks a bit more of what I had in mind here. So certainly that would be one of the 5 that I could do. And this one up here is okay. And I'll do that one. And I think that gets me my 5 for rough. And then I'm going to type in creative and see what comes up. And pretty much a big nothing, because there's a lot of, well, okay, yeah, I'm getting a lot of options, but it's more type designers than specific examples. Don't mind creative world, so that could be one of mine for that. Creative culture, sure, why not? Some of these are wildly non-creative, but anyhow. Not loving this one, but the little boxes are an interesting idea, maybe. I don't know. What are some of my other script decorative vintage and more? You can always look in the type categories if you're not finding anything specifically that seems to be working for you. The nice thing about these is they'll show you the typeface actually in use, sort of stylistically applied to something, and that can help make the decision about whether it works for you. I don't even know what creative means in terms of design as far as, what it, quote, should look like. My thought is just simply that it would look right, whatever that is, when I ran across one that was kind of creative-ish. Well, that one's kind of fun in that it's basically strawberry ice cream, so in Italian. So I'm going to go with the Fragola Crema because it's kind of interesting, and of course my screen capture is not working in this moment. It wants me to subscribe to something, so I'm stuck. What happened? Why is my screen growing to an alarming degree? Is it still capturing? What is happening? Alright, well that was a strangely enlarged screen capture, I think. But anyway, I've got that one. I'm going to see if I can get it to work again. It's a smaller version, sorry about that. And I need several more, basically. Ooh, that one's not bad. And ooh, I like that one. So anyway, you pick your typefaces. Having picked them all, you're then going to put them all together and see if you can figure out a way to create something custom with the ideas that you've gotten from all of the different samples. And one of the things, and it could just, like with the Gunnock here, if you like the fact that some of the characters are shorter and that there's a bar underneath them, that is perfectly fine as I picked it for this reason, and maybe that's the only concept you go forward with when you're creating your custom one. Alright, but anyway, I've got my typefaces. I'm going to get rid of the example that I was using on 51, and I'm going to reduce this down. And this is Illustrator, but again, it could be any program that you can place a whole bunch of images into, so Word or Google Docs would be an excellent approach for this. And you're going to insert or place depending on the specifics of the program that you're using. And all of mine are going to show up as screenshots because that is the tool I was using. And I think that's all of them. And I'll just click around, get them in here. Might need to do some scaling. As you can see, the enormous picture that I got of the strawberry ice cream one was a little problematic, but it's gone now. All right, so I need to do a little scaling, in particular on those last ones that were not just coming in clean. So those I'll have to make a good bit smaller to get them to sort of come in the way I need them to. First set that I was able to cleanly get with the white backgrounds are a little bit easier, but they're all fitting eventually. And then with everything in here, I just need to figure out what it is or what elements that I think I could use to sort of create the custom version of my name. With the way I'm feeling right now, truthfully, the one that feels the most correct is the one that's called Roughage. And so I may go with that one, which is just really scribbly. I could do a good version of the scribbly with possibly the idea from the Gunnock of a bar underneath some of the characters, and that could be interesting as my version. And I might also do the idea of I don't know, I like a little bit some of the lines in the other one, but it's a lot more refined looking, and I'm not feeling like the refined one is where I want to go right now. But for part 1, again, the 2 adjectives and then the typefaces sort of crammed together on a page. Now, as far as what you're turning in, and mine's currently, that one is just not fitting properly. So I need to go smaller with one of these. All right, so part 1's done. I would either do a screen capture of this whole page put together, or I would save it as a PDF. I'm good with either one, but I do not want 10 individual teeny-weeny screen captures of all of your different typefaces. So one screen capture of everything, or a PDF. And that's the part 1. I'm going to do a separate video for part 2 and so forth.